Hey fellow beaders, so I have a new tutorial for you and we are going to be making these cute little earrings, and they're very simple and easy to make. They're not going to take you very long at all, and you can make them in a whole bunch of different colors. So as you know, I'm working with Doreen Beads and they sent me some beads to do some tutorials with. So the beads here in the center are these beads here. These are 8mm glass beads and they are cracked glass, so they look very awesome. I mean, they sparkle and shine because of the cracked glass in the center of the beads. In addition, they also sent me some of their 4mm crystal bicones, so I have those here in this earring too. So to make these earrings, you're going to need 2 8mm beads. You're going to need 18 4mm bicones, or you can, if you have fire polish, that's fine, or even a round bead that's 4mm, that's also fine. Anything will work. You could even use 6 O's. And then what you're going to need are 15 O's, 11 O's, and 8 O's. And lastly, of course, you'll need some ear wires, since these are earrings, to make this. You're going to need half an arm span of 6-pound fireline, and of course a size 10 beading needle. Also, I'm going to be doing an entire set with this particular component, so I'll show you how to make this component and the earrings in this video, and then we'll be making a ring, a necklace, and a bracelet in subsequent videos. So guys, stay tuned and I hope you enjoy this tutorial. So to begin our earring, the first thing you're going to do is take your thread. You need an arm span of fireline and bring it through your 8mm bead like so. And you're going to leave a little bit of a tail. So I've got about 3 inches of tail. And then what you do is pick up 4 11-0 seed beads, and then 1 8-0, and then 4 more 11-0 seed beads. So I've got 4 11-0s and 8-0, 4 11-0s. And I'm going to go back around my bead here. So this way, my seed beads are going to wrap around, and you want to hold on to your tail, and they're going to wrap around my 8mm bead here. And then you're going to repeat this. And so I'm just going to turn it and pick up the same number of beads again. So I'm going to pick up 4 11-0s, an 8-0, and 4 more 11-0s. And I'm going to go back around my 8mm bead, just like this. And this is what you should have so far. Now what you're going to do is go through one of your loops here. So I'm just going to go through all of these beads. I've just gone through the 4 11-0s and one of the 8-0s. And keep going. Go through the rest of these 11-0s, like so. And now what you do is pick up an 8-0 and you continue. So you're going to fill in the gap between the 2 loops. Like so, and just give your tail a tug if there's some slack in your thread. So, because you want to make sure that there's no slack in the thread, otherwise the beads will move around a lot, and you don't want that. Okay, so I'm going to go through 4 more of these 11-0s, and then I'm going to pick up another 8-0, and I'm going to go back down my beads again. So what you've essentially done is basically put 8-0s in between 4 11-0s, and you have a circle around your 8mm bead. Now you're going to work your way down to this 8-0 here. So this 8-0, which is right above the hole, or sorry, I got the wrong one. This 8-0 here and this 8-0 here, which are right above the holes, those are your anchoring 8-0s, and so that's what I'm going to call them from now on. And you'll understand why in just a second. So I'm going to keep going here and get to my anchoring 8/0. And my thread is getting caught on some of the other things that I have here on my desk. Okay, so now what you're going to do is pick up 4 11/0s, and then an 8/0, and then 4 more 11/0s, like so. And you are going to go through the other anchoring 8/0 that I have down here. So you're not going to go through this next one. And so you're going to make a second loop. Like so. Give your tail a good tug so it removes any slack in the thread. And we're going to do this one more time. So I picked up 4 11/0s, an 8/0, and 4 more 11/0s. So I'm coming out of this 8/0, I'm going to go all the way around back to this other anchoring 8/0. So, and you should have 2 loops wrapped around our 8mm bead here. So this is what you'll get, like so. And one thing you need to do is actually go through the beads one more time to kind of secure the beads and the thread. So I'm just going to go back through all of these beads, the 2 set of loops that I just added, just to make sure that this is going to be nice and tight and secure and there's no slack in the thread. So, and that is all I'm doing here. And one last time. So, and you'll feel the difference in the beads. They will feel a lot more secure once you've gone through them. And you can, of course, if you feel more comfortable doing it even a couple more times, it's fine. I think to save us a little time on the video, I'm going to go ahead and stop right there. Now what you're going to do is go down either one of these loops, it doesn't really matter which one, and you're going to come out of our closest 8/0. So this is one 8/0 that I'm going to come out of. And what you're going to do is join the 2 8/0s together. So I'm just going to do essentially a ladder stitch here. So I'm just going to go into this next side-by-side 8/0 and then back up through this 8/0 here. Just like so. So there you go. Now these 2 are connected and our 2 loops are connected together. Then work your way back up to the next 8/0. And then we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So I'm just going to go down the 4 11/0s and come out of this next 8/0. Now we're going to do another ladder stitch here just to connect these 2 8/0s together. This just secures the beads a little bit more and they won't feel so flimsy. And then we come back up and we want to exit out of our 8/0 here. Now our next step is to add our 3rd loop, and our 3rd loop is going to be a little bit bigger than these 2 loops that we added. So for this next part, what you're going to do is pick up 5 11/0 seed beads instead of 4 like you did previously. So you want to add 1 more and then an 8/0. Then you pick up 5 more of the 11/0s. Like so. And you go into, so you're coming out of this anchor bead, so you want to go into the other anchor bead on the opposite side, just like this. And what you want is the beads to sit essentially right on top of your 2 previous loops. And now you're going to repeat this for this opposite side. So you're going to pick up 5 11-0s, an 8-0, and 5 more 11-0s. Just like this, and you're going to go back down to the anchor bead from where you started, essentially. So give this a good tug, and this is what your piece will look like. You're going to have your third row of beads sitting on top of your previous 2 rows, like I'm showing here. So, by the way, if you guys are wondering what's on my hands, it's henna. I attended a wedding. My cousin got married this past weekend. So these are, it's traditional for the women to have henna put on their hands. So that's what you see on my hands, in case you're wondering. Okay, so to continue, what you're going to do is reinforce the loops you just added. So all you're going to do is go through all the beads. And so you're just going to go in a circle. And so I'm going through my 5, and then through the anchor, and then I'm going into the next loop over here. And this will make everything come off a little more stabilized and secure as you go. So just got a few more beads to go through here. And here we are. So, okay, so the next step is now to add our crystal. So I've got my bicones, and what you're going to do is pick up a 15-0, a crystal bicone, an 11-0, a crystal bicone, and a 15-0, and you're going into the bead from our last loop. So you're going into an 8-0 that was in that third loop. So I'm just going to pull my tail here, and it should just sit like so. It'll look a little bit weird for a second, but it'll make sense once you're done. And I pulled the needle out of my thread, so I was just going back and threading the needle again. And we're going to repeat this 3 more times. So in a 15-0, a bicone, an 11-0, bicone, and 15-0. And now you're going to go into the anchor bead here. So make sure you go through it from the front. If you're going through the front here, you want to go through the front here, because it'll sort of affect how the crystals are sitting. So you want them kind of sitting out like they are now. And again, we are repeating, so 15-0, bicone, 11-0, bicone, 15-0, and you go into this next 8-0. So you're just going through the 4 8-0s. So 2 of them are those anchor 8-0s, and 2 of them are from the third loop. And this is our last time. So 15-0, bicone, 11-0, bicone, 15-0, and we're going to go through this last one. And I'm going to go back up into the 15-0 and the bicone, because I'm also going to go back and reinforce this group of beads that I just added. So again, you're just going to go around in a circle. And so I'm just doing nothing but going through beads. So I've reinforced all the beads that I just added, and this is what the piece looks like. And this is actually going to be the front of the piece. So the component actually has the crystals kind of sitting back, and the seed beads kind of up. So the last part of this is to add on our loop for the ear wire. So if you're coming out of an 8-0, what you want to do is come out of an 11-0 that's between the crystals. It doesn't matter which one that you're coming out of. You just want to got to pick one and move your thread to come out of one. And then what you're going to do is pick up 8 11 O's. That's 5, 6, 7, 8. A crystal. And then you're going to pick up 6 more. So I need a little bit more here. Three, 4, 5, 6. Move them down to the bottom. Then what you're going to do is skip all the 6 11 O's you've added, and you're just going to go back through the crystal. Like so. And just give it a good tug to remove any slack in your thread. Then you pick up 8 more of your 11 O's. So I've got my 5, 6, 7, and 8. And you are going to go through an 11 O that's on the opposite side from the one you're exiting originally. So I'm coming out of this one, I'm going to go into this one here. Just like this. And you've now got created the loop for your ear wire. And then what you want to do is reinforce. So you go, so I went through the 11 O, the crystal. You want to go through the 15 O, the 8 O, this other 15 O, and then through the crystal and the 11 O. And then what you're going to do, and I just flip this over, is go up into all the beads you just added on. So I'm going up these 8, then the crystal, and then through the 6 that are part of the loop for the ear wire. Then down through the crystal again, and back through the 11 O's on the other side. And you can do this several times and secure the thread. So I'm going to, for the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and secure the thread. So I'm just going to go through this 11 O that's between the crystals. And all you're going to do is tie some half-inch knots. So I'm going to tie one right before this crystal, and just like this. And I'll go through a bunch of these beads. I'd probably put one here next to the 8 O. Like so. Then it goes through the 8 O, 15 O, 11 O. And I'll tie a third one in front of this crystal over here. And now I can go ahead and cut my thread. Like so. We'll feed the ear wire through the loop here. So got to make sure it's in the right direction. Okay, so those are the earrings, and in the next video I will show you how to use this component to make a bracelet. So we'll make an entire set. That's my plan. So I'd like to make a bracelet, a necklace, and some rings, and a ring to go along with these earrings. So I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.